All right, guys, what's going down, man? This is your boy, DJ Just J with Just Dimes ENT, and I am your humble host of The Soto You Dig. What's going down, guys? Hope you guys are having a great day today. Today is Sunday, the 20th, and I am replaying, which is good. The show is live, yes. Today is May the 20th of 2018, man. I hope you guys are having a great Sunday. It's beautiful outside. The sun is shining. The rain is gone. So, man, I hope you guys are having a great weekend. Hope you guys had a great weekend and hope you guys are looking forward to get your week started. I'd like to thank everyone that supports the Soto You Dig and what we do here. We are advocates for children. We are all about fathers' rights and we're all about making the black community better. So I hope you guys can appreciate what the message that we spread here. And if you do, give us a good old thumbs up. It's a very, very easy way to support the show. You can always subscribe. Also, if you see that red button down there at the bottom, then that means you have not subscribed and I want to be able to earn your subscription. Also, we have forms of being able to support the show, which we have our PayPal available, which is paypal.me/DJJustJOK is a way that you can show love for the show and support, and we will turn around and continue to build the platform. Or you can also show some love in a monthly support at our Patreon, which is patreon.com/DJJustJOK. Got some pretty awesome perks on there. Do yourself a favor and do me a favor and at least check it out and let me know what you think. And if you want to contribute, as long as you contribute more than 4 quarters, we are good at everything helps. So shout out to everybody out there in Soto Nation. I'm going to give everybody a shout out. So the way this is going to work, I'm going to shout everybody out. We're going to play some intro music and then we're going to go ahead and get the show started. So Kurt Dog, my brother Kurt Dog is in the building. That is the Oklahoma legend, King of the O is in the building. Shout out to my brother Kurt Dog, who's got some music he suggested, so I'm gonna play some of his music. So shout out to my brother Kurt Dog. I need y'all to get y'all prayer hands together, guys. Get your prayer hands together. Y'all put your prayer hands together for my girl, my woman, my love. Y'all put your hands together. I'm gonna wait for y'all to get them prayer hands ready. What's up, Kingdom Minded? David Ezinwa. I hope I said that right. Canadian Baconator in the building. What up? Guys, I need y'all to put your prayer hands together for the one and only, never to be cloned, for
30 hertz straight up.
Jay McLovin. McLovin is in the building. Jay McLovin, tell Gigi and tell Ryan I said what up, and tell Sheila I said hi. In the building, Jay McLovin is in the building. My heart, my soul, my support, my backbone. Shout out to my babies in the building. Shout out to Jay McLovin. Look at that, that's awesome. Everybody showing her some love. Melody. So what I'm gonna do, man, is I want to let you guys know something. It did take me a little while to get the show started and all of that stuff, and I want to apologize, but I have to be honest with you guys. A few hours before I started the show, I found out a friend and a brother and a biker brother of mine passed away. Because you guys know that I ride motorcycles, I race motorcycles, I'm a biker boy, I love to ride. You know, so shout out to my, to my people and my friends and, the biker community as a whole. Lost a very, very good racer, lost a very good, club member. Just a real nice dude, man. I mean, from the moment I met him, he embraced me. He taught me a lot of things. Really, really nice guy. So shout out to my guy, Mike Rance, passed away from a motorcycle accident last night, and I found it very, very hard to try to get the show started. So prayer hands for my brother Mike and his family, Malika, to his close family, his close friends, to his camp, man. Shout out to you guys. But I talked to Mike a few weeks ago and it just sucks, man. You just never know the day or the time. And I was just really, really heartbroken. So maybe this show will kind of get me back in the spirit, okay? So shout out to my brother Mike. All right, guys, for everybody that wants the timestamp, you guys can timestamp the show right here, and this is where the show starts. So I want to welcome you guys to The Soda You Dig. I'm your host of the evening, DJ Just Jay. We have a couple of people here that are going to be on the screen here in a moment, and I didn't find a lot of pictures, not really a lot of information on them, but there was a story that came out of Georgia about two sisters that were actually going to be charged for multiple things for actually being responsible for killing the young kid that you see here on the screen right now. He was a toddler, very, very young kid. And I believe his name was Kewan Mason. And he was a toddler. I don't know that it necessarily said his age, but maybe I'll run across that here in a little bit. But I'll give you guys the story on them. What you're looking at is a young woman named LaShirley Morris and Glendria Morris. LaShirley Morris and Glendria Morris. And guys, I know that's not the right picture. For some reason, this thing keeps wanting to pull up old pictures, and I don't know why, because I've already tossed them in the trash can. It's just weird that this program will just, I don't know. We'll just keep finding old pictures and putting them in here. I don't know what the heck is going on. It's doubling and duplicating my pictures. Man. Programs sometimes, man, they got to work out these bugs, but like I say, forgive that on the screen. But this is the little boy that they murdered, actually. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna tell you guys the story of them. But first, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start this thing off a little bit different. Hey, what's up, Kid Gravity? How you doing? Deborah, Omega Dreads, and everybody else. What's going on, guys? Alfred. Yeah, man, I hope so too. Like I said, I hope the show is uplifting. But before I actually show the videos, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you guys the fair use, and I'm gonna actually let you listen to the story before I tell the story. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. All right, and again, thank you guys so much for the condolences. And, you know, it's really more or less for the people that really knew Mike. I've known Mike for, you know, a short amount of time, and I'm sorry about that the chat's not moving. This thing is acting crazy. But what an awesome brother, man. What an awesome brother. But thank you guys so much. And my brother said check the PayPal. Yes, we did. We had two more come through. I can read those real quick before I start the story. I'll be happy to. Take a look real quick. One came from, let me make sure I can say the name. Came from Chris M. Chris M. Okay, and do me a favor, like if you guys have a name, if you want me to say something different, I won't give your full name up for obvious reasons, because we get trolled a lot here. If you would make sure and attach your name to the message, that would help me out also, so I can just call you by what your chat name is. So that way we could just call you that instead of anything else. So this came from Chris M, and it says, just adding on to the support, let's get a $10 challenge going. We can buy nonsense all the time or eat out frequently, but hesitate to donate to a cause. I'll read that again. That was actually pretty dope. Just adding on to the support, let's get a $10 challenge going. So he said, or he or she said, let's get a $10 challenge going. We can buy nonsense all the time or eat out frequently, but hesitate to donate to a cause. That is dope. So thank you very much to Chris M. Definitely appreciate that. What an awesome message. And we have one more coming. And it says, gotta give my man some love for giving us these great shows, listening while driving home. Hashtag DJs rule. Y'all know who DJs rule, and y'all know what DJ rules. That is my brother DJ C Smooth, the House Lord in the building. I'm telling y'all, he's called the House Lord for a reason. If y'all have heard his house mixes, wow. Shout out to my brother DJ C Smooth. Brother, you know I love you. I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much for always supporting big time, man. That's incredible. So thank you so much.
two sisters will now face trial for the murder of that little boy. According to the investigators, they allegedly beat 3-year-old Juan Mason to death before he took a cupcake, or after he took a cupcake from the kitchen. Here are the mugshots of the two suspects in this case, LaShirley and Glendria Morris. Back in October, police were called to Cleveland Avenue in Southwest Atlanta about a child not breathing. The boy's legal guardian, 25-year-old Glendria, told police the boy choked on a cupcake but later changed her story. Well, a few days later, police had enough probable cause to arrest her and her sister, who, according to investigators, were in the, quote, roach-infested house when that little boy died. Now, according to the indictment, which came down this evening, LaShirley used a baseball bat to hit the 3-year-old boy multiple times in the head, and while Glendria used her hand to spank him on his bottom. Basically, the attack of the two sisters left bruises all over the boy's body, on his head, on his chest area. Both of those women in the Fulton County Jail tonight. But Vinny, this is where things get very interesting. According to the Fulton County Jail website, these two sisters have already been granted bond, which is really unusual in a murder case, but the bond was granted before the indictment came down this evening. So our question to the DA's office tonight is, what happens now? Will these two sisters be able to walk out of jail on bond?
And I'm actually kind of glad it stopped right there. Yes, beat with a bat. We're not talking about a grown man. We're not talking about a grown, full-blown kid. Not a kid that's 5 foot tall, 6 foot tall. We're talking about a small, very small little boy who probably could barely speak. So little that they took a baseball bat. Like, what's the excuse for that? What is the excuse for that? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read you guys the story, because I already know what I want to say, but I don't want to give it away completely just yet. And again, I'm sorry about those pictures. Those are not the correct pictures, but this program keeps popping up these old pictures, and I don't know why. So, it is what it is until I can get that corrected. It's just sometimes this thing just don't want to act right. But nonetheless, what it is he was beaten for eating a cupcake. Could the boy's death have been prevented? Now, the bruises and scratches tipped off Geraldine Mason that something was wrong with her son, Kiwan. But the little boy's legal guardian and godmother, Glendria Morris, shrugged it off as horseplay between Kiwan and the other children living in her Southwest Atlanta home. Mason followed a mom's intuition, didn't believe it. She asked her 3-year-old son be removed from Morris's guardianship. I don't know why they write like this. This is kind of bothering me, the way that they wrote this. It's not proper English. Let me see if I can find a better version of this. I don't like this. The news version was a hell of a lot better than this. So let me apologize for interrupting the story, but however they wrote this, I don't like the way that this website wrote this. So let me see if I can pick it up in a little bit of a different form without too much crap going on in the background. So, 2 Atlanta sisters have been indicted, and this was earlier this year. So for the people that might have seen Tommy do this story, I've been told by multiple people and people that I trust in the chat that he did this story. I might have missed this. So, we will sometimes do similar things that I might pick up on, but this story was just sent to me very recently. So maybe there was somebody else out there that maybe didn't see it, and I didn't see it either. So, I want to apologize. I don't want to do a repeat story, but maybe I can bring a little bit different light to it. But 2 sisters have been indicted in a fatal spanking and beating of a 3-year-old with a baseball bat for taking a cupcake from the kitchen. And I want to point something out. What's up, Roderick? When we talk about discipline and punishment, there's a big difference. And I don't know that very many parents know the difference between punishment and discipline. This is one of the things that I used to have to teach. Yeah, grammar is important, and that article sucks. I'm gonna put them out there. This is coming from myajc.com or myajc.com. Just terrible English. The way that they wrote that, it's just bad grammar. What's up, Mo Common Sense? Beat to death, yes. He was beat with a baseball bat. Because the thing is about toddlers, you could hit a toddler just with your hands alone and could cause, permanent serious injury to a toddler. They took a baseball bat, which is just beyond me. Like I say, I don't really understand at all. I really don't. But the Fulton County District Attorney's Office said LaShirley Morris and Glendria Morris were formally charged Tuesday. This is a while back, that they were formally charged with 2 counts of felony murder, which they absolutely should be. 1 count of aggravated assault and 2 counts of cruelty in the first degree. Authorities say it happened on October 21st. So this was back in 2017. I did not see your comment. Let me see. What did you say? So if I missed your comment, you might have to just repost it. Let's see if I can find it. That was Brian. Because I don't want to get too pulled off the story, guys. Brian, I did not see your comment, sir. Let me see. Control, find. I'll look for it. I will look for it real quick. Because I want to make sure, and let me see. What kind of justice system we have to let them bond out and get someone misses a child support. Okay. You know what, Brian, Alex? That was actually a great reason for me to scroll back. What Brian said was, what kind of justice system do we have that lets these 2 women bond out of jail and get someone's child and let someone misses a child support payment and they get jail? So what I'm going to do here, let me update these pictures real quick because this is really bothering me, the fact that this damn thing doesn't want to work right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get you guys the correct pictures back, even if I got to just put them up one by one, because that's really messing with me. I don't know why. I think I have everything together and then it just wants to mess up on me. So y'all bear with me a moment. I'm going to get the correct pictures up here for you. So that way we don't have to keep looking at pictures of the last story that I did. Man, it is just duplicate picture after duplicate picture in here. This is so crazy. Hold on. My apologies, guys. And y'all bear with me, man. We are just having some technical difficulties. I guess that's to be expected since we haven't done any shows the past few days. I think it's been about 6 days, actually. And like I said, all I can do is apologize. But I've just been that busy and just running around that much that I just have not been able to get back home for any amount of time to be able to do any stories and sort through the emails. So I have to apologize to the people that have been sending me emails. So hopefully this time it'll show the correct set of pictures. But yeah, it's crazy because of how we prioritize, and we don't prioritize correctly when it comes to the legal system and when it comes to the importance of children. Because how can you say that if a man misses a child support payment, he deserves jail? But a woman who kills a child, maybe it's because he was a little boy, maybe. But 2 women who kill a child that cannot defend themselves. There's nothing he could have did. There's no weapon he could have grabbed. There was no type of muscle his body has developed. He couldn't run fast enough. He couldn't call anybody fast enough. Like I said, he probably hadn't even developed speech yet to be able to tell somebody something was wrong. And that's why I say we have to be more of advocates for children, because children cannot defend themselves. And I was thinking about this the other day. For the people that want to say that we bash a group of people and all of that stuff, because we know bash ain't a real word. If anything, it's an action. And if it is an action, then why, use it in a form to say that what we're doing, speaking words about people that are doing reprehensible things, is considered bashing it. It's doesn't even make sense. So if you were to tell me that it's more important that these women are given proper justice for doing injustice to a person that cannot defend himself, then what you do going forward is you instill in the minds of women that look just like them that, hey, I can get away with it. They got away with it. So we can do whatever we want to. They become infallible. If you're not familiar with that term infallible, I encourage you to Google search it. They become infallible, and women being infallible is dangerous to our community because we already are struggling in the black community as it is, right? So what we need is we need some shame and accountability, and they cannot be held accountable if women like this can take advantage of a child, of a precious little boy, and use a baseball bat. Like, I don't understand why you have to see. I'm the type of person, I don't believe in physical violence at all in order to teach a child. I think it's bad parenting for people to spank their children. So hold on, hold the criticism, and just listen to what I said. I personally think it's bad parenting to physically adjust your children as opposed to you teaching your children and using discipline as opposed to punishment as a means to correcting your children's actions. I believe that if you want a child to be a good person, it has to start with the mental first, not the physical. You can't beat someone into a good person. Can we agree to that? You can't beat people into good people. And I believe that anybody that believes in physical violence or corporal punishment or anything like that, I believe that, in my personal opinion, that they are less than parents. This is coming from someone that actually incurred corporal punishment at home. So the thing is just because we learned it coming up in the world doesn't mean that it's right, and doesn't mean that it needs to stay the way that our world is. Now, people talk all the time about putting kids in timeout is the wrong thing to do, and taking little kids' toys and putting their toys away is not a way of being able to teach the children. But you can actually see from the parents that have beat their children and punched their children and grabbed anything that they can and whooped their children and all of that stuff, you have just as many of those little boys. Yeah, it's counterproductive. Thank you. It is counterproductive. Hop said violence is beyond being reasonable. I agree. I think people that believe in corporal punishment need to reevaluate being parents. I'm sorry, it's 2018. This ain't the 1940s. We are in a different time and a different age. And if, as black people, as the black community, if we are not willing to evolve into something better, then where are we actually going? If we're not going to evolve and become better, we become stagnant. We don't change, which is why things haven't gotten better. It's gotten worse. So imagine if you have a dilapidated house and you continue to live in that dilapidated house and continue to slap plaster and drywall and all of this stuff and continue to paint over a dilapidated house. What do you think is going to happen to it? The foundation's already messed up. The walls have termites in them. The roof has holes in it beyond repair. But what we keep doing, just slapping crap on top of it as band-aids for bullet wounds. How many moderators do you need? Need and want, two different things. I need no moderators. I want all of the moderators that I have. Don't block them and don't time out anybody for my moderators, because I want to be able to respond to everybody. Everybody's welcome to say what they want here. If they see a lot of blue wrenches, it's their right to be able to say something about it. They're speaking to me, so don't take it personally, all right? Again, I'll say that again. As the black community, if we are not willing to evolve into something better, and we are living in a dilapidated house as our community and just keep slapping quick fixes on stuff and just throwing money at the problem, you tear down to rebuild. Tear down to rebuild. When something has become to the point to where it outweighs the cost of fixing, then you tear it down. Oh, okay, no problem. You're good. I don't mind the question. Yeah, need and want. I don't need moderators. I want moderators. So for people that support the show, they have the wrenches because they have supported the show in a monetary form up to a certain point. So if people get to a certain point, I'll make sure I blue wrench them up. So I want to make sure that those people, especially for those people when they say something, I want their comments to be able to not be blocked or time out if it's maybe misunderstood. So that way, you know, I can make sure and address it if there's an issue. But that's basically what it is. This will be a good call-in show. I do have a call-in number. If you guys want to call into the show, please send me an email. If somebody can post it in the chat, my email address is Soto, S-O-T-O, you dig, Y-A-D-I-G @gmail.com. If somebody will post my email address in there, thesotoyoudig@gmail.com, email me and ask, hey, what's the call-in number? I will send you the call-in number and I'll open up my line. Be more than happy to. You guys are good. Like I say, it's just a question. There's no problem. No problem at all. Now, authorities say that this particular incident happened October 21st of last year. According to the indictment, which came late, which is where a lot of this problem comes in, LaShirley Morris used the bat to hit the little boy, Kewan Mason, repeatedly in the head, while her sister, the child's legal guardian, used her hand to spank the little... I'm just lost with this story. This is what I'm talking about when it comes to like having a dilapidated house. Like when it comes to corporal punishment, that's something that needs to just be completely torn down at this point. So there you go. Egoos is me, Jay McLovin and Jamie Jones posted the email address out there. Not only for the person that suggested a call-in show, I'd be happy to do that. But anybody else that wants to take advantage of it, just shoot me an email there and just say, hey, what's the number? I'll just send you the number and you just call in. You could also call private if you like. But if you want to call in, I'd be more than happy to. And you have my word. I'm not going to put your number out there. I'm not some of these other dudes. You're not going to say anything to get me mad to a point where I'm like, I'm about to put your number out there. It's not that important. Attempted murder. What else could it be? Well, they've been charged with murder as opposed to attempted murder. Like that's almost kind of like saying like manslaughter. But so they actually, I think they gave the proper definition to this particular charge. So they're charging them with murder, rightfully so. Yep. And it did happen last year. Yep. So like I say, I'm just coming across this story. So if you guys have heard this story, then I apologize. But it's my first time hearing about this story. LaShirley Morris used the bat to hit Kewan Mason repeatedly in the head while her sister spanked her. Like, I can't even imagine if he was a teenager. Like, why do you need to beat a kid in the, like, I don't understand what's wrong with a human being, not only a human being, but a black woman, you know, the backbone of the black community, like Barack Obama says, to grab a baseball bat that could kill any human being with one hit, with a half a hit, with any level of force could do some freaking damage. That's just how off they are. And they don't even look sad if you look at their mug shots. Like, does that even look like the face of sadness at all? Guilt, remorse, nothing. They don't give a crap. They flat out don't give a crap. And I think that's scary, the fact that you have people raising children that do not give a crap about these children. And I think that's the mother right there. And she looked bad as just from the picture alone. I judge books by their cover because I believe that you should. But she looks like she don't give a crap either. She looks like your typical average hood rat. And I'll say that because look how they treated this little boy. He didn't deserve that ever. So So the women are being held or were being held in Fulton County Jail. Their bond was set originally at $200,000. So that means 10% of that, 20,000, 20 racks. And I heard that they made bail, which is actually what the next set of videos will tell you. And the reason they were able to make bail is because of the fact that the DA didn't actually get the indictment in, and there's a loophole in the law that allows them to be able to get a bond, be granted a bond if the indictment doesn't come through by a certain time. And I want you guys to think about that. Why didn't that come through on time? Why didn't they think that this little boy, Keywan, was important enough to be able to get an indictment in on time? What's the excuse for that? Is there any excuse for that? I don't think it is. And I think that, I don't know. I mean, like, I don't feel like anybody has the right to make any money off of this. I can't say sue, because I damn sure don't think that the mother deserves to get any money out of this, the family or anybody else, because nobody was there to take care of this little boy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up my email here in just a moment, but I'm going to go ahead and start this next video for you and let you guys take a look. So here we go.
2 Atlanta sisters have been indicted on charges they beat a 3-year-old child to death back in October. According to police, LaShirley Morris hit Keywan Mason repeatedly in the head with a baseball bat. Meanwhile, police say Glendria Morris, who was the child's legal guardian, spanked him. Officials say the women were mad at Keywan for taking a cupcake from the kitchen. If convicted, the sisters could face life in prison.
Could face? I think a death sentence, you know, the electric chair, something. Like, why would they even give them an opportunity? Like, they should either languish in jail or be put to death. I think personally, it would maybe be better if they just languish in jail as punishment, since that's what they believe that this boy deserved, was punishment, not discipline. I just think it's insane. Let me see. I'll be contributing sometime this week. I'll keep you posted. Oh, no problem. No problem. Anytime you guys want to donate, man, that's up to you guys. I'd be more than happy. More than happy. Let me see. Okay, yes, and I did get your email. I got it. I see it right there. But I haven't seen anybody email me to ask for the call-in number. So is there anybody that wants to call in? Because we'll keep the show going. But if anybody wants to call in, yes, with a baseball bat, Robert. They said repeatedly. How many times is repeatedly? Don't you think one time is too many? Think about that. And then think about this, David. I think it's just crazy, bro. It's a toddler. Probably no older than 2 years old. Repeatedly in the head. Think about this as a grown man. If somebody were to take a baseball bat and tap you in your head with it at any level of force, and I can almost guarantee you she wasn't just, just touching him with it. She hit him with it. Murdered him with it. What's up, Kelly? There is bias. I believe that. Elliot said there is big bias for women when it comes to sentencing. I believe it is. But if you think about this, the fact that they murdered a toddler, where's the father? Can we get that hashtag going? Hashtag, where's the father? And none of this story will you hear about any fathers. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys the next video. You will hear no fathers in this story, and I think it's absolutely insane. So let's keep going. See if I can start this at my start point. Let me see. There we go. Now I just needed to play.
And exclusive new details tonight about possibly dangerous criminals being allowed to walk out of jail even if they're considered a threat to the community. That was nearly the case with these 2 sisters accused of beating 3-year-old Keywan Mason to death with a baseball bat all over a cupcake. Just 2 days ago, LaShirley and Glendria Morris walked right out of jail could have walked out of jail on bond. How? Because the DA's office missed a crucial 90-day deadline to indict them and keep them behind bars.
90 days. What's up with that? How about we point the finger at the DA? 90 days, bro. 90 days. 3 months. And you felt like you didn't give a crap about the fact that this little boy has been murdered. 3 months. 90 days. And he missed the deadline. And so, okay, guys, I'll say this. This is why I tell y'all it's so important to vote. Know who you're voting for. I went down there, I think maybe 2-3 weeks ago, and we had a city election that we had down here. There were some bond proposals. And I went down there and I put my vote in out here in my city. Anytime we have something to vote on, I go down there and vote and I voice my opinion. And what too many people are doing is they're avoiding these situations to go vote. And then you end up having DAs in office like this because you can vote on your DAs. This directly affects you. So the people in Georgia, y'all people out there, y'all dropped the ball on this. Whoever y'all voted as y'all DA out there, dropped the ball on this one. 90 days and you can't get something in as simple as an indictment. That is the quintessential function of your job. Get the indictment in. But no, you let criminals potentially, if they had the money, they could have walked out of jail. If they would have had the $20,000 or the $200,000 that they originally had their bond set for. 10%, $20,000. If they would have had somebody in their family, a bondsman, to get them out, they would have been able to get out and be free walking the streets right now until it's time for them to go to court. Vote, guys. It counts. I'm telling you. Let's keep going.
So that got us to thinking, how often does this occur? Faith Abube did some digging and found out this is not an isolated incident. Faith, why does this keep happening?
You know, Vinny, the DA's office calls this unfortunate. And for people like you.
And I want y'all to hear that. They say it's unfortunate. I'd be damned if one of my city leaders going to tell me dropping a ball like this and letting somebody that just murdered a 2-year-old is unfortunate. It's going to be unfortunate when you get fired. And it's going to be unfortunate if somebody has to take legal action against you for not doing your damn job. That'll be unfortunate. When they don't vote you back in. Now that my video is going to be put out there, y'all let him know that I'm telling y'all to not vote somebody in that is not going to do their damn job. Let's keep going.
You and me in the community to hear this, it's unsettling. And for the victims of crimes these suspects are accused of, this is just basically injustice. The Fulton County DA's office tells us they're overwhelmed by the sheer number of cases coming through their offices. So that means right now, 3 out of 10 cases are not making critical deadlines.
3 out of 10 cases aren't making critical deadlines. That, guys, I'm telling you guys, that is their damn job. It's an overworked system. It happens. It should not happen. So imagine if those people come out and they do something to one of your kids because they were allowed to get back out of jail. Let's just say, for instance, I'll throw this out there to you guys. If you say that you agree it's an overworked system and it's unfortunate, right? I'm going to just use what you said as an example. Just understand this is just nothing more than a talking point, right? So let's just say that there's a murder that happens. It's gang related and this person goes to jail and they're threatening and plotting to kill anybody that was around, any family members or anything like that. Well, because the system is overworked. And let's just say they say, you know what? We give you a $100,000, $200,000 bond. Let's just say it's the same thing because it's murder. So if you were to treat a man fairly in the same way, let's just say that he gets charged with murder and they charge him a $200,000 bond. Well, let's just say somebody comes up with that $200,000. He gets out of jail because clearly women are just as capable of killing people as men are, right? We're equal, right? So in that case, he gets out of jail and now he is able to fulfill his duty to take out any surviving family members. And the system at that point has failed you. To accept something as that's just the way it is, I think is weak, and I think it's BS. It should be changed, and you guys need to be more mindful of who you vote for. Be involved in who you vote for. And I will make sure that this person, this DA that is allowing 3 out of 10 cases to not make critical deadlines, that's the point of reform. Maybe there's something else that you need to do. Maybe you need to hire more people. Maybe you need to change your system. If your house is dilapidated, then tear it down and rebuild it. We're going to start making that a common theme here. Let's keep going.
Allowing suspects to walk out on bond. A spokesperson tells us there are 4 major reasons they're missing the 90-day deadline to indict suspects. A spokesperson tells us there are 4 major reasons they're missing the 90-day deadline to indict suspects.
So they already have reasons. Here they go.
They say the number of homicides in Atlanta are just too high.
The number of homicides are too high. Well, from the last time that I checked, I believe that Chicago was a hell of a lot worse than y'all. Last time I checked, I heard that Louisiana even has a higher murder rate than y'all do. And sometimes it's going back and forth between Louisiana and Illinois. Somebody, William said, I don't buy what did he say? I don't buy that something Atlanta, maybe Chirac, but not Atlanta. Okay, I agree with what you're saying. That word that you put in there, I did not quite understand that one, but I agree with you. And you just actually reiterated my sentiments. The homicides are too high. That's an excuse. Do your damn job. Fix it.
3 times higher per population than that of New York City and 6 times higher than in LA. They also tell us the cases are very complex because of gang activity. They also...
There you go. Like I said, with gang activity. So imagine if a gang member is able to work their jelly and be able to get out, they could actually alter their case by taking out people that they know are suspects. Do y'all agree or disagree? If there are key suspects in a case, they can actually manipulate that case and manipulate people and scare people into not testifying and ruining their entire case, all behind the fact that they're saying, well, our caseload is just too high. Well, you know what? The problem with that is that the DA needs convictions if they're going to charge them with something. Y'all let me know if I'm speaking about something that I don't know about. Am I wrong? The DA needs convictions. The DA picks specific charges based on the case to stick to that person, because if they get those charges to stick, then they now are being credited with being successful in their conviction of those particular charges, which is how they are judged. So if you're going to charge somebody with something, now they are getting out of jail behind a legal loophole. They could potentially make it to where the charges that you put on them don't stick, which means you now have twice failed at your job. Relationship Rehab said they literally just don't give a damn. No one cares about black males, not even us. Yeah, I can't deny that. So the DA has now twice failed at his job. We got about 313 people watching. Do me a favor, y'all hit that thumbs up for me. It's an easy form of support. All right, let's keep going.
Don't have enough time because of lengthy police investigations. And the big one, a lack of staff in the DA's office to handle the volume of cases coming through.
Like I said, hire more people. Be more proactive. Get somebody. Matter of fact, they actually have agencies, I believe, that actually specialize in the hiring process. I get that. Spend some money and hire an agency. Because if you don't, if you don't do these critical things, then the system that you have in place is going to fail anyway.
You know, Faith, every government agency is always asking for more staff. Is the DA's office giving us any specifics here?
So right now they're telling us they need to.
If they need more help, hire me. Bring me out there. I'll come work. I'll pay for my own expenses to come down there. Y'all just give me a job. I'll come work. I'll come do the damn job for you. I'll show you how to get some shit done.
225 attorneys on staff for them to have a full staff, but the budget they have only allows for 103 attorneys, which means their workload is very heavy. They tell me they keep asking local governments for more funding, but so far they just keep getting denied over and over again, Vinny.
And that comes from the voting process. Again, I'll remind you guys.
All right, Faith, there's got to be some sort of solution to this. Have they figured anything out?
One thing they're thinking.
Whenever it comes to those budget proposals, that's one of the things that they vote on. Because one of the things that we just voted on was actually a property tax hike. And I'm not going to say which, I'm not going to say publicly which way I voted on that. But it was our right to be able to vote on whether we wanted to approve it or disapprove it. Something like budgeting is something that you vote on, which is why you have to pay attention to those state questions.
Thinking about right now is the opportunity that's come up with a new mayor in office here in Atlanta. They're hoping with fresh new eyes, they can go forward, talk to Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, lay out all the problems for her to see, and she'll be able to help them fix the problem. So far, that's what they're hanging their hats on. We're hoping this gets fixed really quickly because this is such a big problem.
Yeah, bottom line, though, until then, victims of some of these horrific crimes have to deal with knowing there's a 3 in 10 chance of them walking out on bond, even if they shouldn't.
That was my point. Very dangerous. You're putting the perpetrator right back on the streets.
Thanks so much, Faith. A lot of folks online upset today about what happened inside a DeKalb.
All right, I think that was the end of that story, but that's definitely my point. Like I said, man, if he's not getting the job done, why do you continue to let somebody sit on the job? And that's just sad, the fact that they can continue to let this go. And like I said, they were being held on a $200,000 bond. The other portion of what I wanted to tell you guys about this particular story is that the details of the incident was that as punishment for the little boy eating the cupcake, and I want to ask you guys something. How cognitively aware do you think a toddler is? Most toddlers. They're still learning. Their speech is still developing. They're still, learning their motor functions and learning how to go to the bathroom and all of that stuff. It's a learning process. So clearly, if a toddler does something that you don't want them to do, then that means you need to teach them in a form that is mental and not physical. In a form that is mental, stimulate their mental. If you cannot stimulate a child by their mental, then like I say, maybe you need to reevaluate yourself in being a parent, because you probably shouldn't be a parent. Now, the toddler was allegedly beaten with a baseball bat on the head, the stomach, the back, the arms, the legs, according to a report from Division of Family and Children Services. The report quoted an unnamed child inside the home and identified LaShirley Morris, the sister of Kiwan's caretaker, as the one who wielded the bat. The Fulton County Medical Examiner's Office determined Kiwan died of blunt force trauma to the head and the torso. That means they took that baseball bat and beat that boy like he had broken somebody's house or something. Now, they were arrested on murder charges, and they say that the apartment was roach infested, which could also be something that they should be charged with, because that's endangerment to a child also. But child welfare records show that Kiwan had a rocky home life even before he and his twin brother ended up in Glendria Morris's cramped 2-bedroom apartment. The toddler and 3 of his siblings entered DFCS care after their mother was arrested on a reckless conduct charge last month. So there you go. The mother ain't shit neither. Mason would allegedly leave her children home alone, had anger issues, and abused the children, according to DFCS documents obtained by the Atlanta Journal-Constitution through an open request records. Once released from jail in April, Mason was reunited with one of her children, but requested temporary guardianship for Kiwan and his brother, according to DFCS. I can't talk. Mason suggested Morris as I think that's first of kin. Why did they write it like that? I'm not going to even tell y'all how it was written, but it's not written correctly. Or someone who has close ties to the family but not directly related to them. But when Mason attempted to visit her children, Morris denied her access. She gave various excuses, including saying the children needed to learn some manners and get some home training. How many of you guys have heard that before? It's against the law to have more than one kid in China. Just think about what that would do to the U.S. Jay McLovin, you win the prize of today. Jay McLovin, you win the internet for today. Think about that. I actually said that once you have in America up to 3 children that you cannot take care of, that you cannot provide for without help, you should be cut off. Men and women. Women need to have their tubes tied. Men need to have a vasectomy so that they cannot continue to procreate if you cannot take care of the children that you already have. It seems to be working well in China. Just saying, just throwing it out there. If what we're doing isn't working, we need to do something else. If the system that Atlanta, Georgia has isn't working, then you need to do something else. A dilapidated house needs to be torn down and rebuilt into something completely brand new. So I 100% agree with that. Detectives investigating the home the day of Kiwan's death described the home as, quote unquote, roach infested, with at least 7 people living in the 2-bedroom apartment. 7 people. 7. Man, let me keep going before I say something that's going to get me flagged. A neighborhood told DFCS the children were often left unattended and knocked on her door begging for food. I'm going to read that part again. We got 337 people watching. Hit the thumbs up for me. I'd like to thank you guys that are watching the show. In order to show a small form of support, hit that thumbs up for me. Can somebody let me know where we are? Thumbs up compared to how many people we have watching, because I can't see it. If y'all will update me with that, that'll let me know where we stand. The apartment's landlord said this. Oh, excuse me, not the landlord. A neighbor told DFCS the children were often left unattended and knocking on her door begging for food. I'm going to tell you guys something about this little thing. I don't remember what it's called, but if they say if you witness a crime and you just fail to report that crime, do you know that they say that you could actually get in trouble for failing to report that crime that you saw? 267 likes, 329 people watching. Not too bad. That's actually pretty good. I'm happy with that. That's cool. If y'all want to hit the thumbs up, that's cool. If you don't, if you just want to stay watching, no problem. No problem. All right. So a neighbor knew that these kids were being left at home alone, and the kids came knocking on the door. Hashtag thank you, McGillicuddy. That's a hard name to pronounce. Hashtag where's the dad? Can anybody point out in the entire time that we've been live, because I'm about to cut this off here in a moment, when have I talked about the father in this entire story? Thank you for pointing that out. The apartment's landlord said that Morris, who was behind on rent, usually kept a nasty apartment. But you let her stay there, though. The kitchen was littered with dirty dishes and flies covered in empty pink cupcake container when a DFCS case manager inspected the home the day that Kiwan died. Wow. Bags of clothes filled the back patio and mold. Spider webs, roaches, and flies were found throughout the home. Redacted child welfare records show the department objected to Glendria Morris being named Kiwan's legal guardian because she didn't have an approved home evaluation, which the department requires. Obviously, because these brides is nasty as hell. I bet you they probably smell bad. They probably have no hygiene. Clothes smell like mold, house is dirty, dishes dirty, kids around dirty stuff all day. Probably not changing kids' diapers, just man. And remember that story I told y'all the last time about 6 days ago about the woman and the husband that had the 10 kids? Y'all remember that story? And y'all saw how nasty her bathroom was? And she blamed it on the police, but then in a statement she said that me and the kids tore up the house looking under the beds and all that stuff. Yes, same thing. No accountability. DFCS Chief Operating Officer Ashley Fielding Cooper told the AJC the agency prioritizes placement of children with relatives or first of kin. Why is it saying fictive? It's first of kin. I knew what it was saying. What's up, Marie Lovely? But only after they and their homes have been vetted. That didn't happen in the case of Glendria Morris because the court stepped in. Guardianship papers indicate Fulton County Juvenile Court Judge Bradley Boyd and a visiting judge referred to in DFCS documents only as Judge Smith signed a June 15th petition approving the temporary order despite DFCS objections. Another hole in the system. That's bullcrap. Despite DFCS objecting, that's the point of DFCS. That's the point of Child Protective Services. Is if they tell you that it's not safe and the courts go against that, then you're intentionally, as a court, putting the children in danger. Do you guys agree with that? We got about 337 people watching. How many people agree with that? Are the courts putting the children in danger knowing that DFCS said, don't put the kids there? Am I just tripping? Am I just reading this wrong? Chick's probably in jail watching this, yelling at the screen. His mama black. Why he talk about us like that? XB Mario, thank you, bro. Thank you. They probably are yelling at the screen. And if they are, then like I said, man, y'all can kiss me where the sun don't shine because I don't give a damn. I'm going to say what needs to be said. The father is an Ed209 new YouTuber? Probably. But you don't hear a mention of a father. Why is it that people don't value fathers? We have me and my brother Tommy, shout out to my brother Tommy Sotomayor, because I think he already did this story. We have case after case after case after case. Like, if I tried to do daily all the stories that we are sent, I don't think I could keep up with how many stories I have of children that are being abused that could easily use a good father in their life. The women have an innate power to pick whatever father that they want to be to their kids. Because it's not like every single black woman is being raped and having the kids. Most of them are choosing to have children by these men that they're having sex with, meaning they are making a conscious decision and a conscious effort to have this kid by the man that they are sleeping with. Yes? So that means you're choosing these badass fathers. It is your choice. A man cannot do what a woman will not let that man do. They'll lock a father up for child support and they'll get no bail. You're damn right they will. Cameron, shoot me an email if you would. Let me know, Karen, when you shoot me an email. Can somebody give Karen my email address, please? One of my moderators. Since we have so many moderators in the chat, one of my moderators, do me a favor and at Karen Cameron and send her my email address if you would, please, and just tag her in the comment section so she can have that. And as soon as you email me, let me know. Tag my name so I can see it, and I'll go to your email right away. And by the way, anybody that wants to call, I'll take your calls. You just got to email me. It wasn't clear why Mason's request to remove Kiwan from Morris's care was denied in October. A new hearing has been scheduled for November. Of course, this was last year. Boyd said he couldn't comment on the specifics of the case. Coy Johnson, director of Fulton County Child Attorney's Office, said, "We are unable to comment due to pending litigation in juvenile court regarding Kiwan's siblings." Once guardianship was granted, Cooper said DFCS was no longer involved. Obviously, because they've been overruled. So there you go. Karen, there's the email address. If you would, shoot me an email and say something in the comment section when you're ready, and I'll check your email for you. They quote, "There was nothing in place to make sure checks were in place because the case on our end was closed," she said. "When we received the report of the child's death, we were back involved. It's too damn late by that point." Police say Glendria Morris' account of what happened shifted and that she and her sister refused to cooperate with the investigation. She first said that she gave Kiwan and the 4 other children inside the home cupcakes. Keep in mind, this nasty ass house has flies and roaches and mold. Flies and roaches and mold. Straight out of gaming? Yep. And it had flies and roaches and mold. Packer Girl said, "After today's you did, come support Soto Politics for a stream on the latest updates and fallout of the Santa Fe shooting. We will definitely be there. So make sure whenever you're ready, just stick that link in there. We'll be ready to come right over and come check you out." Now, they said that Glendria Moore said that Kiwan was choking on the cupcake. Unlikely, even though it's possible, but unlikely. But that he was fine breathing and talking later, according to the report. Morris said Kiwan went to sleep, but was unresponsive when they checked on him. Later, according to the report, when he didn't wake up, they called 911. And I don't understand how these people are dumb enough that they've never watched TV in their life. Maybe they ain't got a TV in their nasty ass house to know that they can do autopsies and see that you hit this kid in the head with a baseball bat. Can somebody tell me, is it possible for a group of people that refer to themselves collectively as the most educated people in the United States, can this group of people be this damn dumb? According to the rhetoric that people that look just like these 2 women put out there, they say that they're the quote unquote most educated group of people in the United States, but you keep finding them in the dumbest situations. They keep finding themselves with baby daddies that ain't nothing, and they keep finding themselves in situations where they didn't murder the kid. They keep finding themselves in situations where they're living in squalor. I don't know. I'm just saying. Flies and roaches and mold. Man, I don't know how to do it, man. I don't know. I believe that they'd be perfectly fine with the way that they living in filth if somebody didn't come in and force them to stop. Do you feel me, DJ C Smooth? I believe that if you didn't come in and tell them you can't live like this, they would continue to live like this. Y'all stop me when I am saying something that is factually inaccurate. Toluvian, he actually died from what they call blunt force trauma to the head because he was hit in the head with a baseball bat as a toddler repeatedly by one of these women while the other one held him down and hit him. Classy young man said being educated doesn't equate to common sense or intelligence. She is absolutely right. But they actually try to equate it as such. As a matter of fact, I don't personally believe that even if a person does have book smarts, I don't think that that means that they're necessarily intelligent. I don't think that just because you have a master's degree that you know any more about anything else than anybody else knows. They'll live there until they're caught. I 100% agree. Man, it's just sad, dude. Let's go ahead and finish this thing up. At the court hearing, and this was, like I said, this was a while back. This was like in February. H.D. Morris, the father of the two sisters, of these two sisters, so apparently they got a daddy. Hashtag, where's the father? First father we've heard about in this story. Sat awaiting their fate. He described Kiwan as a grandson to him, so it didn't sound like he gave a shit. We tried to take care of him the best that we could, he said, choking back tears. We're holding on. He said, it hurts bad, but we're holding on. We hate that it happened. Efforts to reach Mason's attorney were unsuccessful, and that's what we have for the story. That concludes the story, but I did have a couple of things that I wanted to add on here at the end. Said Einstein didn't know how to screw in a light bulb. Hey, so like I say, man, maybe all this so-called, we're the most educated group in America really don't mean a whole lot. At the end of the day, it's nothing more than, it's just words and paper. Because they're not applying it. It's not applied knowledge. So let me go ahead and wrap us up by saying this. All right. There was a couple things that I wanted to say, and I took some notes here. Let me turn this down just a hair. Because number one thing I said when we first started is I said they don't look sad. Those women did not look sad in their mugshots. They didn't look like they gave a crap. Why don't they value the children is another question that I asked. And I believe that they don't value the children because they don't value themselves, because they don't value what's around them, and they're not taught those values by their parents, which is why I say that change has to come at home. If you want good adults, you have to have good children. Please make sure that y'all let the world know that is my quote. If you want good adults, you have to have good children. If you raise good children, there is a much higher likelihood that you will have good adults. Why don't they let the men have a shot at raising them if they are that frustrated? That was another question that I wanted to know. If they are that frustrated with raising these children, if they needed to beat him with a baseball bat, if it was that to that level of frustration with a toddler, I don't see what a toddler could do to frustrate you that much. But if that's the case, why shouldn't the biological father get a shot at raising the kid? Right? Child custody laws need to change now, and this is another example of that. We're going to continue to harp on this. Child support and the Title IV system. The Title IV system is not the answer. It's IV. IV stands for 4. Title IV is not the answer to continue to keep locking up men behind damn child supports payments, which is just a freaking bill. These kids need fathers and they need parents. Another thing I wanted to point out is that they probably live in Section 8 housing, because they said that the house was in squalor, it was nasty, and it was always nasty. So that sounds like some Section 8 stuff to me. So I'm assuming that they probably got food stamps. So I'm assuming if they got food stamps, then why is it that they're so livid in this boy eating a cupcake or taking a cupcake when he wasn't supposed to have one? So if everything got flies and roaches all over, it's probably not that much good food in the house. And they probably didn't pay for that food. So if you didn't pay for that food, and that food came from the taxpayers' money to give to these kids so they could eat when they're ready to eat, then why are you that livid over something that you didn't pay for? That's what I'm talking about when it comes to that entitlement. They feel like they're entitled to it. And also, why do they get so mad because a toddler doesn't listen to them? And a toddler doesn't understand. And it can't defend itself. A toddler is still learning. It can't understand, and it doesn't have the ability to defend itself. And what's funny about that is when most adult black women don't listen to anybody, but yet they're the most educated. I'm gonna run that by y'all one more again. I'm gonna run that by you one more time. It's funny how they want to get so mad at a toddler because the toddler doesn't listen and the toddler doesn't do what you tell them to do. But the toddler doesn't understand and the toddler can't defend itself.
30 hertz.
When most adult black women, you can't tell them when they're wrong. You can't tell them when to not do something. But they don't get beat in the head with baseball bats. And you're supposed to just accept that that's just the way it's supposed to be. And that's the difference between how we treat children and how we treat women. Grown women that can defend themselves. And again, the little boy's name was Kejuan, Kejuan Mason, Mason. If you guys want to follow that story, I hope you guys understand I'm speaking with love and I'm speaking with facts and I'm speaking with logic. And I want us to start being more advocates for children. Hashtag Black Babies Matter. Hashtag Fathers Matter. Hashtag all of that good positive stuff, man. So we're going to continue to keep attacking people that are attacking our youth, because whether it's a man or whether it's a woman, it's not right. And we need to be able to defend the people that are not able to defend themselves. This is your boy DJ Just Jay. I'm signing off. Hope I didn't get nobody too pissed off at me. I hope y'all understand where I'm coming from. Be mad at the actions and not the person talking about the actions. Be mad about the actions, not the person talking about the actions. Hashtag my brother Tommy Sotomayor.